Greetings, everyone. Welcome to our show. We were interrupted with a unexpected crash of our program, but I want to show you this new form of transportation that Uber is looking at, possibly making these and having them carry us around. Check it out.
Type of personal transportation vehicle that will take you to the air. Kitty Hawk is a California-based company, and at Kitty Hawk, we're really proud to be part of this global movement to rethink, to reimagine how all of us get around every day. At Kitty Hawk, we know the technology is feasible because we are already doing it. Today, we're introducing Cora, a vehicle you've never seen before.
So Sarah said that this man who created
Sebastian Thrun.
He created this amazing car, or that flies. It's a drone, really. It's a 2-passenger drone, and he's also involved in another program for programmers. What is it, Sarah?
Well, it's not just for programmers, but it's Udacity. If you're interested in programming or any basically learning, and you're self-motivated, there's lots of
Udacity.com.
Online learning, yeah. And what's great about Udacity is, unlike other places that have MOOCs, multiple online classes, they have Udacity has what you've been talking about, David.
Right.
A nano degree program,
which
is a kind of a certification course.
Right.
And not only do they have these certification courses, they also partner with. They have hiring partners.
Oh, great!
And their hiring partners are like Microsoft and
Cisco.
Other really high end software.
This is a really good site.
Amazon, Google. See, if you scroll to the bottom, all of those are their hiring partners. AT&T. Mercedes.
So you get a job at these companies if you go on the Udacity track and learn. And some of their programs are free, right?
I mean, if you want to make anything with the hiring partners, obviously you have to pay. But they do offer some free online courses at Udacity, and they also have other affordable ones. But anyway, or discounted courses. But their free ones are really. I enjoyed their JavaScript course. I went to that before I started my master's degree.
Great.
I took Udacity's, and I learned about Udacity actually from a really cool math person.
Thank you.
And this guy, Sebastian Thrun, that they were featuring on this film, he also is the creator of the first self-driving car.
So he's the guy who was first introduced in the show. Let's see if we have his face here. There he is.
Yeah.
This is the guy who's the genius behind this, and as well as the Udacity site. Thanks, man. Yeah, so we're looking at a genius, folks, who's put this together. He's the CEO of Kitty Hawk, and he hopes to sell these units to Uber. I guess Uber's going to be looking at self-flying units that will fly on their own. You won't have to fly them.
For a while there, they were offering scholarships if you went into because they were building this. They were like, if you're interested in going through our course, it was really affordable to go through that course, but I didn't do it. But anyway.
Okay, take a look here and see if you guys want to check out this link on your own. You can, but it is definitely running on something. I don't know if it's electric or driven by hydrogen, but the turbines definitely have the potential to lift it straight up in the air, and it will fly vertically and horizontally. Very interesting. It's like a crossover between a drone and a plane.
Thanks, 648.
Fascinating stuff. And he really is a genius. And Udacity is available for free to start with. So if you check out the site.
There are lots of free courses on Udacity.
Yeah. Great name.
And that's why one of the reasons I actually decided that I decided to go ahead and get my master's, because I took that course. I'm pretty self-motivated to go through this kind of coursework.
So it was Udacity that gave you the confidence to go on to your master's. That's pretty cool.
One of them, yeah.
One of the sites that got you excited to do that.
Good
That's
night.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you.
I'm not getting my master's from Udacity.
No.
But I would recommend that course for people that are interested in that kind of thing.
Definitely. Thank you. And code.org is another place you can learn programming. Starting out with kids, you can get your kids involved. Thank you. Okay, here's illegal aliens discussing the bridge collapse right after it happened. We're going to pipe in on this just for a second. See what this is about.
Oh, aonde nós ia passar, o livramento que Deus nos deu. Oh. Mira lá, oh, ai meu Deus. Ai Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh, mira todos. Aonde que você ia passar agora? Mira todos los carros que bajo, mira. Oh, paibunes, man. La gente que ya está muerto. Wow, qué peligro esto, man. Están muertos. Que las da, ¿no? No, qué peligro, ven. Uy, lo que nos salvamos, Fabio.
Okay, vámonos, yeah. Somebody asked me, what programming language do you learn, Dave? Well, I learned some BASIC, some Fortran, C++, C++, JSON, COBOL, Ruby on Rails. I mean, what kind of programming languages do you want to learn? The big thing about programming is you've got to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, forget it. We can't trust Flynn. He took money from Russia today. Yeah. Flynn, are you kidding? You Republicans have been trusting Michael Flynn. He's been a Russian agent. He was even a Russian agent when Trump hired him as National Security Advisor. The only good National Security Advisor he had was McMaster, and he's getting rid of him. I know I should learn CSS. In fact, I should do a lot of things, but I'm going to kind of pass on all that because, frankly, I don't really have a desire to learn programming. I would have liked to have created a site that would have been fantastic from the ground up. When CSS came on board and started claiming everything was so much simpler, cascading style sheets, I began seeing complexity added to the picture, and now we're on a slippery slope to extremely complex when making websites. So I have a really cool way of making websites. It's called what you see is what you get. And I've always enjoyed, with technology, you want to make it simple. And one of my service providers, the company we host with, actually offers a what you see is what you get interface that I've been playing around with, and it's so much easier than learning CSS. So I was recently attacked. Our flagship website, Chemtrail Party, was shut down by a directed DDoS attack, at distributed denial of service attack. And then they installed some viruses on it. So I had to reboot it, and I created this really simply with a what you see is what you get website design tool offered by my provider. But working on this every day, I'm adding to it. Yesterday I added the links on chemtrails. We have a couple links. This one didn't show up. I have to go in there and tweak it. But we got air crap and Skywatch and all kinds of global Skywatch, all kinds of great links. But making your own website is super easy now with these what you see is what you get site development tools. And this is resizable, rescalable, just like any good website should be. So I think that technology is going to be very, very good for people who don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of CSS programming, but just want to make a website. So I urge you to just dive into something easy as opposed to going deep into a panic that you may be too deep to get out of. Biggest problem with technology? Stephen Hawking, IQ, a physicist, called people who boast about score losers. Oh, well, everything that Stephen Hawking said is irrelevant because he wasn't even alive. So there's no evidence Stephen Hawking was Stephen Hawking. He clearly looked like John Nash, the famous mathematician who died in a car accident, allegedly, 3 years ago. And had he been hooked up on life support for 3 years, that's how long his life support would have lasted. So I'm pretty sure John Nash died. Oh, you've got a best buffet in Seattle? Wow. We'll have to take a look at that, man. Renton, Bluefin Sushi? I don't know. Nice. Okay. Good to know. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, the fact is we never ever could truly detect whether he was alive or not. We have videotape of him being tossed around in a weightless environment. NASA did a thing with him. Hawking was also seen at Orgy Island. Stephen Hawking was seen at Orgy Island. That kind of lowered his credibility. But here he is floating in space. Floating in space with Stephen Hawking. They got him up there in a weightless environment and they tossed him around like a rag doll. And I guess he enjoyed that. If indeed it was him, I don't know. You can't tell if he was smiling or if he was grimacing. But yeah, they tossed him around like a rag doll. I thought it was real funny, the NASA crew. Never a straight answer. Yeah, this is all fake. Everything's fake. He never lived past 35 years old. To think that he lived to be 76 is absurd. Or what was his date of death? Hawking. And of course he dies the day of Pi Day. He was 76, that's correct, yeah. 76. Well, I've seen his picture before, and it's this is the finest Stephen Hawking speech ever made. Let's listen in.
Hello, I would like to say that.
Aware of the preciousness of time. Seize the moment.
Carpe diem. He's, I believe John Nash was forced to sit there and look at the monitor while an AI system delivered speeches.
Now. I have spent my life traveling across the universe, inside my mind. Through theoretical physics, I have sought to answer some of the great questions. But there are other challenges, other big questions which must be answered, and these...
Well, I believe that it is possible that he could have mentioned that we were being sprayed like insects. The very fact that he didn't even mention the existence of chemtrails undermines his credibility as an intelligent person. Now, my IQ is above his. I didn't choose to go through an academic track of receiving scholarships and academic accolades like he has. I instead focused on the specifics of what I needed to do, which was to gain coverage in America. It was a lot harder than I expected, and that is getting a TV show to activate a large audience of people and make them understand what I'm doing, which self-actualization is far greater in my mind than standing around pontificating about whether we should go to another planet and escape this Earth. So self-actualizing and creating a future that is blocked by censors is going to be the biggest challenge, and we're still on that track. America doesn't have any freedom at all. We're completely lied to about everything that's going on. So I doubt seriously if Stephen Hawking was even alive to talk, let alone, I think there was a computer speaking during that time period. and they just hooked up John Nash's body to it because he looked identical to it. But Hawking was a kind of a party favor for people like Jeffrey Epstein at Orgy Island. His stay there was kind of memorable. People didn't realize that he went to the Orgy Island and hung out, which makes you wonder, what's really going on here? Seriously. A guy like Stephen Hawking goes to Orgy Island and sits there with people? Really? And there's Jeffrey Epstein, who's been good friends with Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, who oversaw a teenage child trafficking sex ring. Got a year in jail for it, but still is out there doing it again. Now under investigation again, I hear. Well, I think that Stephen Hawking was not Stephen Hawking. Let's just face it. He never brought up chemtrails. That alone, it really kind of makes you think, well, he's obviously controlled. Because anyone in their right mind would talk about the chemicals being dumped on our heads every day. I mean, this is probably the most important issue we can talk about every day. Yeah, the so-called genius Hawking should have seen through all the bullshit. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Well put. Okay, Balin has just revealed himself as Melko and will be removed from the show. He can't control himself. Melko has this deep-seated desire. He's so jealous of me. He has this deep-seated desire. It just pops out. And we wait for him to pop out with this ridiculous statement. But there he is. He never fails. He's like clockwork, this guy. He's such an idiot. He comes in here and he does this every night. Okay, cool. He never talked about chemtrails, which means he basically didn't want to discuss the truth. And he was dying. I mean, you do the math. He wasn't really a genius. All right. So we're looking at chemicals being dumped on us all the time. Okay, best joke ever. Okay, here we go. A man died, went to heaven. As he stood in front of St. Peter at the pearly gates, he saw a huge wall of clocks behind him. He asked, "What are those clocks?" St. Peter answered, "Those are lie clocks. Everyone on earth has a lie clock. Every time you lie, the hands in your clock will move." "Oh," said the man, "whose clock is that?" "That's Mother Teresa's. The hands have never moved, indicating that she's never told a lie." "Incredible," said the man. "That's Abraham Lincoln's clock. The hands have moved twice, telling us that Abe told only 2 lies in his entire life." "Where's Trump's clock?" "Well, his clock is in Jesus' office. He's using it as a ceiling fan." Very funny. Trump admitted he lied when he talked to Prime Minister Trudeau about the supposed debt that they had with us. He even admitted to the press, he said, "Well, I don't know. I don't even know if we have a debt. I just said that." Dude, you're now bragging about lying to the press? You're on your way out, buddy. What kind of a person are you? How did you ever make it to the presidency? Oh, that's right. You've got all this money lent to you from very powerful Russian oligarchs. I get it now, and they helped you win the election. Okay, Donald, you managed to buy your way to the top of the heap to be told by everybody we don't believe you. Wow. You get the big booby prize. Meanwhile, our country's still languishing with no direction and no concept of how to question anything. And we've got a country that lies to itself with false flag after false flag and little or no evidence produced by the FBI that these things even happen. It's unbelievable. I think the CIA has been operating on their own budgeting for a long time, and they think that they can get away with anything. I really believe that their information or disinformation campaign is so braggartly brazen that they have completely lost track of where their guidelines are. They have no limits. I believe that they are so full of themselves that they've lost track of even how stupid their lies are becoming. I'm reading you, man. What do you mean, yo, Dave, I'm reading this or what? I'm reading it, man. Hell yeah. Stock photo, quantum physics pattern, blackboard. We're doing some quantum physics here. Glenn Libet, you are a new person in the room, meaning you're probably Melco. So you're on warning right now that you will be banned next coming up. Notice how Balin leaves and then Glenn Libet comes in. Okay, here's a quantum physics question that many of you can answer in your sleep, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, well, that's simple. You can go in either direction. Up, down, sideways. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. You know, people spend 3 or 4 years in college to figure this out. What are we doing with it on a screen? Why are you bringing this into our show? Impeach Trump. I'm hearing about your fluoride. Fluoride's in our water system. It's dumbing us down. They probably dumped fluoride or lithium on the Vegas concerts growers, people that were sitting there at Mandalay Bay. The answer is 42. I like the way you talk. Mm-hmm. Well, that's okay. You're still on short string there, Glenn. Hang in there. You can be weird all you want. I just can't absorb all the strangeness of that complex equation. You know that Einstein never proved his theory of relativity? There is no actual proof behind his statement E equals mc squared. He never did a mathematical proof for anybody. They say that Einstein was functionally mentally retarded. I'm serious. No, they say he wasn't. He didn't even understand what he was saying. He was complete. When you hear him speak, Einstein speaking, he sounds like a retarded person. Now they did this with William Shakespeare. They faked his existence. The real William Shakespeare was actually a kind of a illiterate actor who worked in England at the time. Here he is speaking.
I am glad that you have me given the opportunity of expressing to you here my deep sense of gratitude as a man, as a good European, and as a Jew.
As a good European and a Jew. And he's talking about, he's reading off a script too. He barely read.
It cannot be my task today to act as judge of the conduct of a nation which for many years has considered me as her own. We are concerned not merely with the technical problem of securing and maintaining peace, but also with the important task of education and enlightenment.
He sounds like an illiterate idiot. And enlightenment. Anyway, this brilliant man came up with supposedly came up with the theory of relativity, which has given us the pathway to total destruction. How smart is that? Not very smart. Kind of stupid if you ask me. Theory of relativity. Yeah. The real meaning of E equals mc squared. Oh, PBS. Yeah, like that's going to take us anywhere. There's no mathematics behind it. There's no proof or anything. They'll explain it in general detail. And I'm going to put that in my lineup tonight for all of us to understand it. But yeah, I love the idea. It's a concept is real wonderful. There's some problems though. They're finding out that the universe is curved, for one, which kind of changes the way things work. Circular seems to be the pattern that repeats throughout the entire universe, as in spheres and elliptical positioning of the planets. Even Tesla said he was an idiot. Yeah, there you go, Scissor Fight. Dude, you got the best sparrows ever, dude. It's totally tubular. Well, the blimp plane basically is far more intelligent, in my opinion, than this absurd. Hang on, I just noticed Weinstein and De Niro kissing each other. Oh, that's got to be the weirdest thing ever. De Niro came out with an anti-Trump speech. I want to get a copy of that. You're sitting with me because standing is against your religion? Okay. Yeah, this is Weinstein kissing De Niro, but De Niro has said something very, very strong against Trump today, so we're going to feature that a little bit. Well, let's be clear.
Trump treats education as a con, a way to make a profit at the expense of the suckers. Anyone here planning to get their higher education at Trump University? But don't be discouraged, young people. Get your degree from a legitimate institution. You don't have to become president. You could get an honest job or become president.
Yeah, good. Well, maybe we'll get more of that later. Hilarious. The liberty that America speaks of, well, you're free to travel from state to state. You have the liberty to travel from state to state, but is the screen frozen? Okay. But if you travel by plane from 7 different locations in America now, you do need a passport. I don't know if you're all aware of this, but in 2018 they rolled out new laws for 7 separate cities. I'm not sure which one is affecting you. But if you go from one city to another by plane, you need a passport. So we're losing our liberties slowly. Police station lobbies should all have vending machines, yes. Serving fresh fruit and milk and orange juice, not diet soda and sugar water. Well, that's the thing, Pumpkin Hunter. What if deja vu happens because time is existing all the time at the same time? Exactly. Our sense of time is a construct. Now, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but when you're all alone, time kind of grinds away. But when you're with somebody, it flies. Have you seen that? I mean, flies. Sarah and I sometimes swim together, and normally my workout is 30 minutes, but when I'm with her, it feels like 10. So there's something about being with people that makes time kind of seem to go faster. It's a perception thing. Google will ban cryptocurrency and ICO ads in June this year, so they're feeling the big crunch of cryptocurrency. And let's talk about cryptocurrency for a second, okay? This is the most absurd thing that mankind has ever created. People running out now buying computers. Techwala's out there buying a whole series of computers right now to mine bitcoins. I know. It would be kind of nice to do that. Well, it's pretty interesting that search giant Google will ban advertisements related to cryptocurrency and ICOs as part of the move that tightens its policy on unregulated financial products. But cryptocurrency is posing a bigger problem to the environment, in my opinion. If everyone's getting all the kinds of computers to mine these nebulous numbers that are being manufactured with code-breaking equipment, essentially, no need. There's going to be bathrooms at every medical unit. Every mobile medical unit will be equipped with a bathrooms, like multiple stall bathroom facility on the other side of the unit. We've got everything covered. Yeah, don't worry. You won't have to go to the bathroom when you're waiting in line. Anyway, moving on to cryptocurrency, people are setting up these really energy-wasting computer systems that all they do is mine bitcoins. Right now, there's no legislation against CoinHive. So what Mark is using CoinHive to mine bitcoins while your computer is watching our show, which he's doing. And many of you who don't want that to go on, you can watch us at coolrock.com, and that doesn't happen there. You can see the chat, and you can see our show at Cool Rock. But mining bitcoins is what people do now all over the place, and it's wasting a ton of energy. So it's kind of ridiculous to imagine mankind trying to make magical numbers in the sky with these computers, which don't produce anything tangible, just some sense of value in the form of a bitcoin. It's like we're no longer mining the earth for gold, we're mining the earth for energy. So this is taking up a tremendous amount of energy, and you can imagine where this is going. I mean, the destruction of mankind can come from the generators needed to produce the energy to eat each other up financially. It's like a completely weird, twisted world we're living in now, where people are trying to make money out of thin air by burning energy. Right, and people who are still buying into cryptocurrency are finding value in it. But I can see why Google's manning it. It makes sense. I don't think antivirus will stop the coin hive. Google has a coin hive interceptor, which you can get. I don't have it available right now. Let me see if I can pull it up on my Flipboard. I think it's in Flipboard. We have a Flipboard site, and I think I can find it. A guy has developed a tool, an add-on feature for Google Chrome that will work. This is our Facebook, our new link stop for everyone. We've got all these different categories. I think it's in Tech Tools. Let's see. If you want to find really good tech stuff, it's this is the link. I mean, we've got the full Nikola Tesla document, part 1 of 3. Electric cars don't harm cardiac implants. Good to know. This is a great... Oh man, I have so many things here that are so great. I could just spend the whole night looking at this site. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have the tool. Let me see if I can find it up here. But look at this item. This is a really cool solar power generator for survival. It's a portable solar cooker. It uses a thermos technology. You can boil water in this with the sun. And you can make an entire loaf of bread in there, a baguette. I've seen it done. It's a really good survival tool. If you haven't, seen these things, I'll get you the link to it. Yeah, you probably could buy a house with Bitcoin. Yeah, don't really have it here, unfortunately. Leaders of top robotics and AI companies call for a ban on killer robots. The problem with the robot development in our technology field is almost every new invention has been weaponized by the military. And they're going to weaponize the robots. They already are. Never mind. It says thermos on it. Okay, well that's a link that'll get you there. It's a pretty cool solar survival kit. So I don't have it there. I think it's on board my system if I can find it. uBlock Origin. No, that's not it. uBlock Origin works great for blocking malware and screen hijackers. It blocks a lot of things. uBlock is not the product. It's called uBlock Origin. And it is a good product that's out there. All right. I can turn it on. Florida bridge collapse due to bad time-saving technology. Thanks, Max. Max Settings is analyzing the breakdown in the pedestrian bridge in Florida. You can't really make a campaign there at Cool Rock, but any type of donation doesn't go through there, but you can donate to me at davidsponheim.com if you want to make a Bitcoin donation. You have to be a U.S. citizen to do this. But it's there at that website. Hit the donate button. Thank you. We did get a $49 donation from somebody. They didn't want to be identified, so they gave us a $49 donation on Bitcoin. Wendy did that. Okay, time-saving technology to build this collapsed bridge. Wow. Unlike traditional methods of construction, ABC streamlines the building process, this accelerated bridge construction technology, so that the bridge projects can be completed quicker and more cost-effectively. That's what I thought, yeah. The accelerated time reduces traffic delays and road closures that frustrate commuters and can increase construction expenses. Other benefits include safer work zones, less environmental impact, blah, 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 blah. And this is the end product. Yeah. So they have these people believing that somehow this bridge is supported some other way, but you see, it doesn't have connectors at the top. It's extremely top heavy, with only one thing in the middle holding it up. All of these struts are of no value in the design and construction of this bridge. It is absolutely useless. Look at these fans. Like, people really need fans when they're on deck, on board, top of a roadway. Is this absurd? Dude, you get the best barrel ever, dude. Oh, of course, people are going to want big concrete kiosks to sit on. It's how comfortable. What a joke. This is the mindset of the two-party system that allows this crap to be developed. These morons that are sitting there in their bureaucratic offices pushing buttons and acting like they're doing something when they're taking your tax dollars. There's 4.7 billion websites, but Google allows you to see only a few. Really. The deep web is the 99% of the internet you don't see. No kidding. You see what they're doing? They're creating an intranet defined by what they think is appropriate. Pretty soon, if you have a conspiracy theory on your site, they'll kick you off the web. Wow, look at that. It's 400 to 500 times larger than the surface internet, according to some estimates. It's a haven for criminal activity, the webs that you don't see. What they're trying to do, I think, is...
What if I told you that the vast majority of what's on the internet is part of something that sounds...
like a video I'll play later. Okay, I guess their pop-out isn't working here. What's in the deep web? I'll play this later tonight. Okay. It's just sites that use a form of encryption to access them. I'm sure it's more than that, too. Yeah, gold is at 1315, silver is 1638, hovering, both of them are hovering. And Dow Jones is still lingering under 25 at 24,873. I'm sure you can buy drugs on the dark web. It doesn't really surprise me. I think they're going to push everybody toward HTTPS sites. Now, here Mark is using CoinHive. And he's got an HTTPS site, which is supposed to be validated and certified. And he's using CoinHive. Now, we have a site that we don't use any harvesting equipment, no malware. We don't even check for cookies. And we don't have an HTTPS. We have an HTTP, and the internet will tell you that HTTP is not safe. But they aren't really checking HTTPS sites. That's just a big line of crap to create an intranet. Well, you can get HTTPS insignia by paying for a certificate, or you can get a server that offers it for free. Now, unfortunately, our host server on our website doesn't offer it for free. They want a lot of money for it. So in order for us to get a free HTTPS, we have to move all of our files over to a different server, which is a huge process. Not something we're looking forward to. Here's a robot that makes perfect free throws. All right. Well, it might not be secure in your opinion, but I believe HTTPS is not secure either. I mean, look at I said just now. Mark has an HTTPS site, and he's using CoinHive. You just have to sign at VeriSign. It's expensive. Watch a sparkly basketball robot built by Toyota engineers sink flawlessly free throws. Let's take a look. The next wave in basketball will be a robot capable of making perfect shots. Introducing Shooter Q. He's also 8 feet tall, too. Oh, but he has a platform he travels with. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Alrighty. I'm sure a lot of people could hook that up anytime they want. And why is it black? Don't you think that's a little bit prejudice against black people? It's Globetrotter. Guaranteed to make a shot. Ready, ready, and ready. He never fails. Hey, high fructose corn syrup, not only does it have genetically modified corn in it, but it also has, you guessed it, mercury. Boing, boing, boing. Okay, I've seen enough. That's the way I used to shoot. Perfectly. Problem is, I practiced on a 9-foot basket when I was 10 years old. It was the biggest mistake of my life. I would have been a professional basketball player otherwise. Yeah, kind of affects your confidence when you go from a 9-foot basket to a 10-foot basket and start missing. I used to be able to, I could shoot deadly at 25 feet in a 9-foot basket. Bingo. Study finds high fructose corn syrup contains mercury. It's toxic in all forms. Given how much high fructose corn syrup is consumed by children, it could be a significant additional source of mercury never before considered. Do you think the Food and Drug Administration gives a crap about people's health? I don't think so. That's why they call it the Fraud and Death Administration. Because they don't do a damn thing to stop people from getting really, really bad things in their body. Like genetically modified food. You're great at bowling, really? I'm pretty good at bowling. I'm pretty good with my hand-eye coordination. I showed Sarah, I had not shot a basketball in 20 years. And we went into an Ace Hardware, and she would attest to this. And yeah, get it. Organic beans, just don't get kidney beans. Kidney beans aren't that good for you. But any organic beans other than the kidney beans are good. Yeah, we walked into an Ace Hardware, and it was a basket. If you made 3 in a row, free throws, you get a 15% discount. And I stood right up there, and I made 3 swishes. It's like, boom. I hadn't thrown a basketball in 20 years. Of course, I wanted to impress her, so I was really kind of working extra hard. I don't believe the internet has enabled communication on a scale never before imagined. No. You had 12 bowls. That's a lot of munchies. Yeah, I think what we're dealing with is a controlled internet that is completely monitored right now. Back when AOL was first starting out, I'm telling you that we were in the golden age of chat. It was the best time ever. I mean, better than this chat experience you're having right now. I played Mr. Right earlier, but I can play it again. We have that ability. I'll play the lighter version of it.
My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. I miss the right to good to be true.
All right, thank you. Shorter version is quick and to the point. Okay, we're taking a look at another major new thing. We just found out about the dangers of mercury in high fructose corn syrup. Dang. Beware. Now Samsung's 2018 QLED 4K TV blends into your wall and controls your smart home. Oh sure, that's what I want. I want to jack my phone in my home and everything, all my video cameras up to the smart home system, so that some hacker can hack into my life. Sure, that's going to really go over real well. Isn't it amazing? This TV is actually making a picture behind the picture. It's not a translucent picture, it's a picture of the wall. That's what I said. You met your first girlfriend on World of Warcraft. Wow. You might try another dating service. It obviously didn't work out for you. Yeah, it could be. You never know. Translucent TVs. But Samsung is unveiling its 2018 lineup. It's an event coming up in New York City. It still remains the world's leading TV maker, and while this year's sets make modest improvements to picture quality, mainly black levels, the major focus is intelligence and smart home control. The QLEDs, not to be confused with the OLEDs, ship with Bixby and other voice assistant capabilities right out of the box. You know, the new TVs have cameras in them too. I'm sorry, I would not buy a new TV right now. It's not until they get the cameras out of the TVs, I wouldn't buy one. What the hell do they put cameras in the TV like they want to watch us? Well, of course they do. I am not into that, man. I told you that. I knew a person that beat somebody up in the beach for being proposed. Somebody walked up to him in a bathroom and was like, some guy was hitting on him. And he just cold cocked this homosexual. I don't encourage, violence against gays, but yeah, I don't even know where you're coming from. It was mean, yeah. I was surprised the guy just cold cocked the guy. I mean, I'd walk away and just, leave me alone kind of thing. But yeah, he was proud of the fact that he just bashed his head in. Well, approaching people in bathrooms is inappropriate, but I mean, what do? I was in a bathroom at a casino, and some guy says, "Hey, could you pass me a roll of toilet paper?" It's like, I walked out. I was like, "I'm not talking to you. Pass you a roll of toilet paper?" God, I don't care. Nobody goes into a bathroom without toilet paper before they figure it out. I could handing over that's hot, Dave. I have a wide stance. Like Senator Craig when he was caught in that bathroom in Minneapolis. Claims that he was never approached by other men, but yeah. It's more of a girl thing, the toilet paper, really. I'm not going to talk to somebody in a toilet stall. You don't open a conversation with somebody in next to a stall. That's the last thing you ever do. Do you look down at public urinals? Well, you certainly can't look up when you're going to the bathroom. I mean, really. Do you look down on public urinals? No, I actually hold them in high esteem. I don't know. I don't look over. No, of course not. I don't use public urinals. My body does not actually respire like human beings. I don't have the need to expurge my urine from my body. My system is completely self-reliant upon its own filtration system. Best play drums while in the stall? Yeah, that's a real winner. What to not do in the stall? You always check the guy next to you? You're a perv, dude. You're exactly what we need private stalls for people like you. You're probably a transsexual pervert, as opposed to a non-transsexual pervert. Not all transsexuals are perverts. Not all gays are transsexual. All right, let's have another conversation somewhere else.
We'll also need a new generation who are interested, engaged, and with an understanding of science. How will we feed an ever-growing population?
We must experiment with alternative methods of feeding the population.
Okay, and what would that be?
Soylent Green.
Look at him. I mean, look at him. He was depressed. He didn't want to live anymore. Poor guy. I don't think Hawking is making any money on his trademark robotic voice, if that's what you're asking me. No, I actually don't think Hawking is going to heaven, so since most atheists never make it in, I have great confidence that his spirit will be expunged from the face of the earth. I never had a real affinity for a guy who wasn't alive. Stephen Hawking has been an artificial intelligent robot and somebody else posing as him in the body of him for years. There's no way Stephen Hawking actually lived this long. It's absurd to think that he did. Patently absurd. No one with his disease lived another 10 years. He's gone, 45 years past everyone else? I don't believe that. I don't know if you've ever had anybody clean up your stools every day with a wipey, but this guy lived that way. Well, let's be clear. Michelle is definitely a dude. No kidding. Wouldn't that be great if Barack Obama admitted he was gay and then Michelle was a dude? That'd be a dream come true, I think. This is what Hawking is facing right now at the pearly gates. Oh, shit. Denying the existence of God all these years. It's funny. I'm not laughing that he's dead because I know he's been dead for years. He didn't just die. Who died was John Nash. They severed his spinal cord. He lived through the car accident. It's pretty obvious. I talked about it last night on the show. I will add that to the list of shows to play this show for you today. Beep. Stephen Hawking. But Hawking and Nash were identical. The new Hawking that we have today. A brief history of the time fraud of Stephen Hawking. We'll bring it up for you. There's nothing to learn from Stephen Hawking. He was an airhead, okay? Here is a brief history of Stephen Hawking, the actor, also played by John Nash. Beep. Hold on, please. You can compare the ears and the specific nature of their anatomy. Beep. One moment, please. He and his wife ended up dying, John Nash, in a car accident. There he was. So tell me John Nash didn't look like Stephen Hawking. Now, they were in a car accident in October 2015. He and she allegedly died. I believe that since there's a very scant bit of evidence that this event even happened, there's no police report on it. 2 people dying on the Beltway in D.C., and nobody writes a police report. It looks to me like they just pulled his body out. She might have died, but they pulled his body out, then severed his spinal cord and stuck him in a seat for 3 years while he sat and shat himself all day. It wasn't much of a life for the greatest mathematician of our time, but John Nash was not the kind of guy that would get into a taxi without seatbelts on. And that's allegedly what happened. He was an expert on game theory. He won a Nobel Prize on game theory. Highly unlikely he died there. So I believe that this is definitely a possibility that he was replaced. There's a lot on this. There's more than enough evidence to suggest that it's John Nash. But it's strange. I've been looking for the picture. There it is, finally. There's a match. John Nash is a perfect match for this man. His eyes are a little bit, less tired after they hooked him up and gave him some plastic surgery, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Melko, you've got to go away. You've turned the show into your personal playground, and you're just a piece of crap. You're a vile piece of crap that doesn't deserve the time of day. Just don't come in here, man. I got chunks of guys like you in my stools. Okay. Yeah, you saw A Beautiful Mind. That was all about John Nash. Of course it is. Okay. I'm going to tell you, this is the same nose, man. It's always in the nose. The nose knows. That's like saying, I'm John Nash. I could look like John Nash. You might think I'm John Nash. I have a very similar nose to John Nash. And to Dave. Yeah, obviously, Stephen Hawking and I look a lot alike. Yeah. So according to this picture, I am John Nash. Very sad eyes. So pitted. You will be leaving now, or do you want to leave later? Because we know you're going to be kicked out. We already predicted that. Kind of like Minority Report. Kicked out later? Okay. You can stay long enough to release your nonsense. All right. Well, this has been great fun not doing anything. Fantastic. De Niro says he won't stop criticizing Trump. He keeps talking and criticizing everywhere he goes. I don't blame him. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to punch him in the face. I recently turned on the television news and saw this odd guy with little hands, and he was like raving. Come on, Donald, this is ridiculous. This is nuts. This is insane. Because what he's been saying is really totally crazy.
What is slander, Max? You said that's slander. What exactly is slander about that? Thank you. We're waiting. Max, what slander specifically? I don't know what you're saying. I don't want to write the mathematical treatise to refute the theory of relativity because there is no proof in the theory of relativity. It's not slander to denigrate the president. He's a total joke. Everyone's laughing at him right now. And there are no slander laws that apply to the presidency that I know of. But what I'm saying about President Trump is true. So technically something true is not slander. I don't want to write a mathematical treatment refuting Einstein because Einstein never produced a mathematical treatment or postulate or a theorem. He never laid out the mathematics behind E equals mc squared. Look it up yourself. There's no math behind it. God, what an idiot. Welcome to another episode of Mr. Puzzle.
Cigar and whiskey bottle puzzle made by great minds. Comes in this nice box here.
That'll be fun. Last week we had a wooden puzzle. It was hard to figure out. Sounds good to me. That's okay. You don't have to do math to know that math hasn't been done for Einstein. Einstein was given an honorary position at Princeton as a professor, adjunct professor. He never ever produced a single bit of math that I can even listen to or understand. His uniform field theory was considered the state of the mathematical world. Could have been comprised by somebody else. It might have been, just somebody working for Einstein. I don't know. Like I said, a guy with that kind of intelligence comes up with a way to destroy the world 40 times over. That can't be too smart. Trump is the equivalent to Anna Nicole Smith becoming president. Scary thing is she's dead and would have made a better president than Trump. Freakazoid. Wow. Yeah. I know there's a book on the unified field theory. I know that. But there's no math behind it. Research it. Look, if many of you believe that the earth is flat, you realize how hard it is to have a conversation with people who believe the earth is flat? Or that people think that everything is fake news? It's difficult to have a conversation with people that think everything's fake news. And that would be most Republicans. It's fake news unless Donald Trump says it's not, and then it's a crisis event that we have to have gun control. Well, I'll be glad to Google the video on unified field theory. Okay.
No one, nothing can stop me.
On the planet is answering the same questions in a different way, but it all has been seeded by the same set of information that's very ancient information. And so we could make the planet and Nassim, that's instilling fear and guilt into people. Just explains the whole universe well.
So that's the explanation for unified field theory. Okay. That pretty much sums it up. For sure, dude. That was like totally beautiful. Like, wow. Your lungs didn't realize tobacco was to be dangerous, so you're having your lungs repaired for $55,000. You think the tetrahedrons are fun. Try the icosahedrons. Yeah. Icosahedrons are the most impregnable surface in geometry, three-dimensional topology. The icosahedron is very much like a sphere. It's a polyhedron with 20 faces. You know what takes on the icosahedron shape is the virus structure. The herpes simplex is an icosahedron structure. That's one of the reasons why it's so hard to get rid of them. Viruses are shaped like that. They know that from the electron microscopy. Beep. Yeah, so anyway, we can talk about other things besides the unified field theory that was never proven. Well, I definitely think that women in general I find very attractive. I think the female body has an allure to men because obviously we're kept from seeing it as children. And we grow up wondering what it looks like, so there's a tremendous amount of allure in both their upper and lower portion of women's bodies. So men naturally find them very attractive. But I don't think there's necessarily a preference. For some of you there might be, but I think the fact that we're kept from being near women in our life, and we're kind of led to believe that they're on a pedestal like our mothers, that we tend to view women in a similar way that, well, actually it was designed by Freud to describe the male attraction for women as either the Madonna or the whore. So women are either like your mother or like some slut that you want to have wild sex with. And when you find one that's both, then you're really attracted. And that's what Sigmund Freud believed. I'm just saying from a strictly low-level animalistic desire level, Women have something alluring about, the pheromone factor might be at play. But when people look at this amazing dancer, Sloopy, and they look at her body and they see this moving, undulating in a certain way, I think they're getting both the Madonna and the whore. Not that Sloopy's a whore, because she's a beautiful woman who's 82 years old right now, but they're getting that beautiful kind of, the allure of a woman who has that motherly aspect and the body to shake and do whatever she wants to enjoy herself with. So I think you're getting a combo factor there. No, Sloopy's 82-year-old beautiful woman. I'm not describing her as a whore. She's a beautiful woman, and in no way would I denigrate her that way. But the Madonna whore thing that Freud was talking about kind of lives out when you see somebody dance so well that they obviously can't stop attracting men, and it's timeless. Sloopy is timeless. Here's Sloopy now. Very attractive woman. I mean, I don't know how much now that is. That might have been a few years ago, but there she is. Yeah. She got a little breast job, I think. She was a little smaller there. All right. No, I'm not telling you what kind of pants I'm wearing. Yeah, I think she had an injection or something. But I would never call her a whore. Here's what happens to your body when you consume a cigarette. Are you ready for this? In the first 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure return to normal. 8 hours, nicotine and carbon monoxide levels reduced by more than a half, and oxygen levels return to normal. So what happens when you quit smoking? Okay. 48 hours, your carbon monoxide is eliminated from the body, and the lungs start clearing out mucus and other debris. Sense of smell and taste is improved. 72 hours, breathing becomes easier. Bronchial tubes begin to relax, and energy levels increase. 2 to 12 weeks, your circulation improves. 3 to 9 months, coughs, wheezing, and breathing problems improve as lung function increased by 10%. Another good reason to stop smoking cigarettes. The most addictive thing on earth. Good. Don't smoke cigarettes. It's not something you ever want to do. Bullshit gun walkout. We've got profiling of the fake.
I'm just going to bring you this real quick.
The crisis actors that are going down this week are coming out. This entire staged event that was put on with your college funds, or actually high school education funds, busing and all kinds of things was paid for, which is an illegal use of money for tax purposes. Some people have a thing about oral fixation. That's why they smoke cigarettes. Cookies, I'm not talking about my pants tonight. Of course I'm wearing pants. Well, the kids protesting gun laws was pathetic, yeah. I'm very upset about that. So, Max, you must have come into the show thinking that we support Trump here. Just because I'm not a Democrat doesn't make me a Trump supporter. Trump has been stealing my ideas systematically. All the ideas I've had for 8 or 9 years, he's used in conversations, pretending like they're his. Except for the ones that cost America any money, like the $400 a month plan. He refuses to steal this idea. And I'm the original creator of the basic income concept, whose time has come for all of us to get a little bit of money from Uncle Sam. It's payback. I don't have any evidence of any conversations he's made because I don't track Donald Trump. Robert S. Mueller is doing it for me. He'll be done pretty soon. Trump will be wrapping it up and retiring. He can't keep this up. It's a joke. The whole thing is a charade. He stole the White House with Russia's help, and he's stolen ideas of mine to get noticed. It's pathetic. Okay, South Korea is gearing up for the summit. Report shows North Korea testing reactor. So North Korea is not honoring their agreement. But supposedly they were going to have reduced tensions between North Korea and America and South Korea. A report showed that the North had probably begun testing a nuclear reactor as recently as late February. Yeah? South Korean and North Korean soldiers keep watching over each other, where North Korea has defected across the border on November 13th. Yes, the man was riddled with worms, and they found out he had been treated with an anthrax vaccine. So it's very possible that Kim Jong-un has sprayed everybody with anthrax vaccines and has a weaponized anthrax weapon designed to blow anthrax into South Korea. Yeah, it's pretty scary to think that Trump would even agree to visiting Pyongyang. It's ridiculous. It's almost like he doesn't even know what's happening. Anybody in their right mind would never go to visit somebody who killed their uncle and their girlfriend and their half-brother and all the girlfriend's fellow actors as well. Walking into something like that is a trap. I would never do it. You'd never ever get me to visit Pyongyang, ever. Cannabis seed dealer successfully fights U.S. extradition bid. Gypsy Nirvana of London legally trades the seeds in the UK, but U.S. authorities accused him of criminal activity and has been seeking his extradition since 2013. What a joke. This guy just wants to promote healthy marijuana seeds around the world, and he calls himself Gypsy Nirvana. I mean, come on. And the U.S. government bid to extradite British cannabis seed dealer has been blocked by the High Court. Good. That's ridiculous. To take a man who's simply trying to help. He's 57 years old. He's my age. He's just trying to help people, get medicinal marijuana. I mean, come on, America. You would meet in South Korea? Really? Well, that I don't think. Well, the thing is, Kim Jong-un will not leave Pyongyang. There is no way Kim Jong-un is going to leave his country. Never. He would never leave. So, who's got the upper hand there? Come on. You don't visit Kim Jong-un on his territory. What is Donald thinking? Hey, I got some pretty good seeds here, bud. But they're not pot seeds. They're Nirvana seeds. Yeah. You grow them and you start to look like Kurt Cobain. Sorry. Facial contortionist master has proven again my ability to match everybody on Earth. I'm like everybody. I can be everyone. I proved to you last week how I could be Hillary Clinton. This is the future of our world. Welcome to the future of America under Donald Trump. Police state, more ICE going door to door, knocking perfectly normal people out of their homes because they're illegal. Yeah. And the $400 a month plan, because it's my plan and it's not Trump's and he won't steal this idea, forget that. That won't be happening. All right. So now you know what another 3 more years of Trump is going to be like. A greater police state, more war. He might even start a war with Iran now that he's getting rid of the the intelligent, logical people in his staff. I'm amazed he hasn't fired, General Mattis. He's the only guy I think he really stands behind him at this point. John Kelly is on his way out. Only people over 18 will get the $400 deal. You have to be over 18. 18 or over. So anybody in 18, when they reach that 18th year, is going to want to take the money because they won't have any other money unless they're working. So this is kind of like the baseline, and the baseline plus is working. If you want plus, you have to work. Well, emancipated minors are people too, but 18 is not too old, no. Right now, you have to be 25 years old to have independent financial status to get college grant or loan. I think you can take a loan out without having independent status, but to get any money, free money, you have to be 25. I want to change that. I want to make that 21. So anyone who's 21 years old should be able to get independent status from their parents. That's the plan I hope to put in place. This man's homemade lighter has more power than Elon Musk's flamethrower. Oh, it's homemade lighter.
Polite and refined.
Whoa.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
Bit more chooch.
Well, he really likes propane, doesn't he? We'll add that to the list tonight of weird things to look at. Surveillance capitalism.
Last night, in an exclusive investigation, we showed you 2 patents that Google has filed for. They show the company's willingness to stick a camera in your bedroom and spy on you and your children, and then, of course, use that information to sell you things. That's how surveillance capitalism works. But currently, Google doesn't have a camera in every bedroom or every home. It does have a phone in millions of people's pockets, though. And the question is, how much information is Google getting from those phones? We put a couple of our smartest producers on this, and then we sent Fox News headlines anchor Brett Larson out to investigate. Why?
Okay, we'll watch that in just a few seconds, right after I close down the show. But we do a video show all the way to 2 in the morning, so you can watch this video and more in just a few minutes. Yeah. Vanessa is having Don Jr. and are separating. I'm very sorry to hear that Donald Jr. is leaving Vanessa, but it's a great way to...
I pledge to every citizen of our land.
It's a great way for everyone to store their money separately, so that if Donald Jr. is indicted, his wife will be able to take care of him in a hospice or something. After 12 years of marriage, we've decided to go our separate ways. We will always have tremendous respect for each other and our families. We have 5 beautiful children together, and they remain our top priority. We ask for your privacy during this time. The two met in 2003 when Donald Trump introduced them at a fashion show. So Mr. Trump introduced his Vanessa to Donald Jr. I'm surprised Trump didn't hit on her himself, you know. It wouldn't be surprising, you know, to see some dad. Yeah, Donald Jr., I think Vanessa's a very, very beautiful lady. And yeah. I'm telling you. All you have to do is grab them by the pussy. Yeah. I think it's terribly disrespectful for women to talk about their body parts. You know? It's like talking about men's dicks. It's like, how disrespectful. Let's end this objectification of people and turning them into body parts. You like it when women talk about your dick? Well, women don't. That's the point. Women don't talk about men's penis. I'm sorry. This is a over 18 discussion here. No, seriously. Women do not have any interest in your body part, guys. I got news for you. They're just not into it. I don't have any bouncing tit videos. You've been removed. God, you're sick. Another permaban for Melko. He just can't seem to stay in the show. He never could hang in the show. That's the thing. Women don't take any interest in men's body parts. It's one thing that we do know for sure. Women have to be in the mood, guys. All right, I'll leave you with that concept for you to think about in your future, finding your mate. Some of you are MGTOWs, men who've gone their own way. Dad tortured and murdered like scene from gangster TV show after he failed to deliver cannabis. Wow. That's pretty sad. Brutally tortured for not delivering cannabis. Huh. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, yowza. And we're off and running. Okay, that's the end of our regular show. Yeah, women, the only line that'll really work on women is a white line. But I don't recommend using cocaine in your relationship. And if you have a woman who's willing to snort that white line, you got a bad relationship already. So, yeah, it's not a good thing to do cocaine with your girlfriend. I knew a person who told me, he said, Dave, I do coke with my wife because it helps her sex life. No, I technically did date a druggie, but I didn't know she was into coke. She hid it from me. Thank goodness. But yeah, he had this belief, this person I knew, that it was going to improve their sex life, the cocaine. Oh, it's great. We use it recreationally. Really? Well, after that, they lost their home, their car, and 6 months later, they were living in a dumpster. So there you have it. That's what happens when you think cocaine's a fun drug that'll be good for your relationship. Don't do it. Just say no, like Nancy Reagan.
Well, Nancy did smoke, well, no, she didn't smoke anything. She had a Valium addiction.
Well, honestly, guys, if you really think that women are attracted to it's not. Women are into they're very cerebral. Women are very cerebral. They can get into dirty talk. Oh, yeah. But it's not the way you think. Yeah, women are very cerebral. They have to be enticed, allured. That's what romance is. David, can you fix this? The average monthly wage in rural El Salvador is around $360. That's not bad. That's not bad money at all. Yeah. I mean, their rent is what, $120? I can't solve El Salvador's problems. That's El Salvador's problem. Drugs are bad, okay? Yes, but the cost of living is much cheaper in El Salvador. Salvaged off-grid tiny house on permaculture farm.
Tiny houses and
permaculture farm. I love it. Hey, you know, the new technology is what you guys are building in your backyard. I'm serious. I'm working on a technology right now that's never been built, never been developed. It's absolutely beyond your wildest imagination what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not going to tell you about it either. But I'm developing something that is kind of cool, and I'm hoping to eventually get a patent on it and go from there. But no, seriously, have fun with, you know, things you like to do. If it's a tiny house you want to build, start building it. Just get a trailer. Oh, yeah. You can get a trailer for a couple $1,000s. Let's see. I know I want to say goodnight, but say you wanted to live on your own and have a really nice, you know, home away from home. This tiny house thing is really kind of a craze. And if you want to find a trailer that you can build a tiny house on, They have them. Down in Oregon, you can get these things for $2,000. Let me see if I can get you one. Well, one option is to get a shipping container. You can do something like that. They put windows in shipping containers now. Believe it or not, they cut windows in there. Doors, there's a door in this one. That's got to be the simplest construct, shipping containers. They're pretty cheap. A lot of people are pushing those right now. Yeah, things like these. There's one. You almost need a 5x17 or 5x14. This would probably be enough for a tiny house. Look at that. $14.99. $14.99. You start building your own tiny house on that. Yeah, I'm serious. Under $2,000, you get started. Well, in order to be protected, when my device that I'm developing is ready to go, I would need a patent to be protected because it's a pretty cool thing. Here's Stephen Hawking pictured on Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave island. I just featured this just a few minutes ago, but why not bring it out again? There he is having fun on Orgy Island with all the other people. Stephen Hawking, he had such a rich and fulfilling life. Yeah, those are cheap. Pretty cheap to start building a trailer. And you know how cheap 2x4s are. And you go up from there. You got to get some 2x6s in the construction, but you definitely can build a post and lentil construction on top of one of those things and build your own little tiny house. There's a lot of young people working in robotics right now, and we are kind of losing them. So what I want to offer everybody is a 6-week to 6-month certification track, kind of like Sarah was talking about with Udacity. They offer certifications, and you can work your way up into becoming a programmer. But if you want to become a robotics expert, we're going to even offer you a university track in robotics. I think that's going to be a big, huge plus in the future for a lot of people. And right now, there's a lot of high schoolers who have great knowledge in this area that are not getting jobs. And our government is doing next to nothing to get these people fast-tracked into a job. Yet we're allowing people like Jeff Bezos to import people from India instead of improving our own lives. Yeah, we featured this the other night. A $10,000 El Salvador house built in 48 hours with a 3D press. Amazing. This entire construction was done virtually by a computer, except for the outer structure. It's amazing, isn't it? It layers it in like a concrete slab. It just goes along and builds these houses slowly through layering. Yeah, we featured that the other night. Okay, here we go. We'll start with a little bit of Tucker and go from there. Tucker Carlson. He's kind of a more benign Bill O'Reilly, but nowhere near the edge that Bill O'Reilly had. All right. I am going to sign off, folks. Thank you for coming in and sharing the show. Take care. We'll be back tomorrow night with live video. Freedom Friday starts at 5 p.m. I'll be uploading my dinner I made tonight at 2 in the morning, so don't wait up for that one. Turned out great, by the way. It was chicken with grits and peas for $2 for 2 people. Okay, take care. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Last night, in an exclusive investigation.